Well, it's a pretty day out here. Man, it's like 74 degrees, April 2nd, 2025. This is my little park that I walk at all the time. Really like it. Man, it's really, really windy. Like crazy windy out here. I've got this in the little media mod thing, and it's got a camera or a microphone with a foam wind blocker on it. We'll see how it does, because usually it really causes a lot of wind noise. I've also got the wind setting turned to automatic, so my thinking is that if it goes past the foam, it'll go ahead and cut the noise down. I'm walking right into the wind here, and it's kind of blustery. We got 4 days of rain coming. It's going to be really rainy, so I'm getting out and trying to get a little bit of time in. Okay, that'll kick my outdoor walk in. That'll clock it. Pretty neat place to walk. It's right along the creek. You can go this way and it's pretty wide open, and if you go that way, it's closer to the creek, but it's a lot busier right now, so I don't want to freak anybody out. People are still kind of sketchy about cameras in public, and don't want to cause any issues. This is a pretty little creek. It's not particularly clean. It's a typical Tennessee creek. Muddy. Not much in the way of gravel. I've kayaked on this some. As it goes out past there, it goes into the lake. And I put in one time on just the other side of that bridge, out of that parking lot, and I paddled. I paddled a pretty good little ways both ways. I went up until it got really shallow, and then I went down to the bridge and a little past. And you can also go to the road there and to the right, and there's a decent place to launch close to the other bridge. You can get all the way out in the lake and fiddle around out in there. I went to this Moby Dickie's, a little seafood and steak beer place up the road there. I like eating there, but I just kind of paddled all the way up there and turned around. Lots of boat docks. Boat docks are attached to the houses quite a lot here. Good little train coming along the side of the park. It's a great place for families. They have a lot of soccer fields and softball and t-ball and baseball. Most of the time the geese aren't a horrible problem. There's a couple of them sitting out there in the field. Sometimes it gets to be kind of a herd of them, and it's kind of got to play a game of chicken of getting past them. There's something on that field over there kind of moving on its own. I don't know if they're striping it. if they got a mower. We'll get a little closer to it here in a minute. See what's happening. Well, it looks like a mower. That's pretty wild. Yeah. About gotta be. Maybe it's a little finish mower. This creek floods like crazy when it rains heavy. There's a lost soccer ball. Looks like it's been floating a while. Looks kind of scroungy. When the creeks flood, catfish come up into this area here because they've feeding. It's washes a bunch of grubs and worms off of the fields around, and people get on this bridge and fish. I've run across them several times. I'm gonna try that little snag this summer. If I can get out here with a kayak. I don't know how deep it is under there, but it's probably deep enough to catch a few perch. So that's a quarter mile. Heart rate's at 139. Heart rate's been a little higher lately. Probably just because I'm fat and out of shape. But I thought it might be something to do with electrolytes, so I dosed up pretty good yesterday with liquid IV and used no salt on my eggs I had this morning for breakfast. It's all potassium chloride. Probably used about a ¼ teaspoon. I don't know if that goose is nesting there or just hanging out. Probably just hanging out. It's about time though. Hope she's not nesting there because that water will be up over that pretty soon. This is Main Street ahead. It's getting to where it's about like downtown Nashville around here. Sure, a lot of people moved in the last 5 years. It's a little mallard pair. Still walking right into the wind. Getting pretty gusty. From the parking lot to this corner is less than half a mile. I was thinking I'd make it 1 mile on this side of it and go and do the other side for a mile and call it a day. I did 4 miles a day for the last 3 days, and I sure was tired yesterday. I think I might be pushing it a little too much this early. So I'm gonna back it off to 2. Do that for the next few times I can. Although it may be a few days before I can even squeeze 2 miles out, because it sure looks like that front's gonna dump water on us. I hope that's all it dumps. Keeps the tornadoes down. Here's the corner of Main and Conway Twitty Lane. 0.45 miles. And its heart rate's at 143 at a 22-minute pace, which is really slow. It's been about it's been about 2.5 weeks since I cut out carbs, and I think that I'm not quite fat adapted, where I'm just burning fat, because I sure get tired easy. Probably another couple of weeks should be back up to above my level I'm at now. I'm probably about 70% maybe my normal energy level, maybe less. But the weight loss is coming along. I've lost 15 pounds almost. I think 14.3 or something this morning down. So that's working. I can always build it up once I get the weight off. Be a lot less to carry around while I'm walking and stuff. Not the most scenic place, but it beats walking streets around the neighborhood. I sure like walking along the creek bank. That looks like they're building that thing to some kind of little pop-up auditorium over there. Huh. So we came from over there where that little gray car is coming up. We're parked right on the other side of that. Walked this, stepped over this side of the street, then walked up to the corner. And going back, there's a little dog leg over here I like to walk to add a few tents, and it's kind of more interesting too. I hadn't even noticed that big old building. Huh. I need to look up more often, I guess. I don't know what it is, maybe more restrooms and some concession or something. This is quite a big deal for this community. There's tons of people use this park. It's got a lot of parking. That one we parked in, and then this one, and then there's, shoot, 2 more main parking lots. And I've seen it pretty full. get a good Saturday where they're having tournaments and stuff in here. It gets piled up pretty quick. Man, something smells good. I wish you could smell that. Smells almost like honey locusts, or maybe, yeah, probably honey locust. Probably some back in that tree line there. I'm getting the wind right in my face from here. It's probably where it's coming from. Oh man, it smells good. So we're at 3/4 of a mile, 132. Backed off the pace a little bit. 22:17 though, still yet for the average. Last 3 days I was getting at 20 flat or a little under 19:30. But I think I kind of overdid it, because I sure felt bad yesterday. Curled up on my beanbag and went to sleep for about an hour. I'm gonna start hitting the electrolytes a little heavier and see if that helps. If it doesn't, I'll bump my calorie intake up a little bit. I've just been winging it on that, and it hadn't been much, but I'm trying to keep it low as I can to get fat adapted. Based on the numbers with if I was converting fat at enough efficiency, I wouldn't really have to eat for about the next 2 months. I had to save on the food budget. Quite a few dogs around here. People really love their pups, just like everywhere else. You got your raincoats and umbrellas located?
All good, sir.
We're gonna need them, aren't we? This is kind of a utility area for the fields. They have extra gravel and sand and fill dirt, and they keep some pitching mounds back here. I don't know if they're just old ones or if they're getting them refurbished or what, but there's a bunch of them. Some old basketball goals. They've put in some new pipes in that area we just walked through. So they may make more, they may use them on a different area, or they may scrap them or sell them or give them away or something to some other towns. Looks like they were, yeah, that one's kind of bent up when they pulled it out of there. That bottom one looks okay though.
Seconds per mile.
That thing gives me a split on every mile. It's kind of cool. There's those pitching mounds. This is probably some of this, probably our old walkway over there by the creek. It keeps getting torn up by the water and roots and stuff. They're putting new cement down over there. It's nice. They just poured a big old chunk of it last week. Well, I'm glad I came out today. So far, seems like my legs were kind of stiffening up, muscles were sore from walking yesterday and the day before. It's kind of limbered things up a little bit and feels a lot better. Sure is a pretty little field. Got a bunch of them. They spend a lot of money on those dudes, but they get a lot of use. You might have been wondering what that noise was. You didn't see me grab these hiking poles. They really help. I saved myself from taking some embarrassing sit downs several times with them. Sure is pretty out. That'll have us better than a mile by the time we get back to the truck. And I'm gonna go another mile on the other side there'll probably be quite a few people over there. I'll record that some other day when I've gotten here by myself. For this to be so busy on the weekends, it's kind of bizarre to come here on the weekdays when normal people are working. It's nice though. Just a bunch of old retired people like me. I should have 1.25 miles, maybe 1.30 miles in. The van's right over there. I'm gonna go to it and drop the camera off and go to the trail. It's on the other side of there that runs along the creek. And I might just go the whole circle. I don't know how far back you can see from this view, but it's where the park ends down there. And then if I circle around and come back on this road here, that should be my 2.25 miles. Every time I get up here and I think I'll just walk 2 miles, I talk myself into walking more. And I've walked 4 miles a day in the last, I think, 3 days after not walking for a while. Probably should have started out about 2, but I'm backing it up and I'm going to go ahead and cut it down to 2.25 or whatever it amounts to when I get back. I'm not doing 4, in other words. It's funny how you can walk along and talk to yourself nowadays because everybody just assumes you're on your phone. Well, the little GoPro just turned itself off because it got too hot. So I don't know how long this will last before it turns itself off again. I think it's probably, I've got a heck of a breeze here, but it's probably because that's in the media mod that wraps all the way around it and it doesn't let it cool too good. See if I can make it to the van. I've got a Hero 13 coming in that's got a little heat sink in the front of the lens, and that'll be a good test of it to throw it. It'll fit in this media mod also. Be a good test to throw it in there if I can in the next few days and do this same little walk and see if it does okay, or see if it turns itself off too. That little heat sink in the front might get rid of a lot of heat. I hope it does. Pretty irritating when it just turns itself off, especially if it's sitting still without any wind going across it. The problem is that I'm recording in 4K and it's taking a lot of processing power to do that, so it's nothing new. It does it pretty often. So we made it to the van. I'm gonna go ahead and do another 1.34 miles. I'll probably do another mile. Heart rate's 128. That's good. kick it over here and hit pause until it gets sorted out here. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. Some of my guys have said there might not be all that exciting, but it's kind of peaceful to see this sort of video once in a while. If it's not your cup of tea, don't worry about it. I'll start slinging wrenches here pretty quick. I've got a bunch of stuff gathered up for the old RV. I'll probably run a little video of that and throw it out there tonight, because there's a ton of stuff, a ton of little things that I've got to do. But it'll be fun. Little stuff will start coming together and make it look a little more normal. I got a quadrijet kit coming. It's only been about 40 some years probably since not that long, 30 some years since I kitted a carburetor, so we'll see how that works out. Luckily they're reasonably simple if you're just going with the stock one. When you start tuning on them, that's totally out of my league. Anyway, I'm going to take off that away, hit this first little deal here, about where that sign is through there to the left of the white one that's facing our way. Right in there, there's a white line, and that's the official starting place. It's pretty neat. They've got it all blocked out with little posts along the way that tells you how far you've gotten. It's reasonably accurate. So that'll take me another, what, 20 minutes or so, 40 minutes. See a mile out, a mile back, 2 miles. That'll make me where I'm doing 3.35. I might just not go that far. I might try to keep it down to 2.5 miles or so. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.